Hey guys, I just want to thank you so much for being part of the YouSaySo family, as well as a mentee in my JourneyShip session. It is always a pleasure to actually provide you with the knowledge that I have that's going to actually help you along your journey as a notary signing agent. So again, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. All right, so today I am doing a refi mock signing, okay? It is a mock signing for a refinance for you guys, and you should have the documents that goes along with this particular refinance that I am doing. If you are watching this video and you do not have the documents and you want access to these documents, you can email me at yousayso.notary@gmail.com. yousayso.notary@gmail.com. And yeah. Okay. All right. So again, I'm doing this mock signing for you guys. And I hope you would actually have your documents and follow along with me as I go through this mock signing. It's important, that you do it. Okay. And once you get through the mock signing video today, I would love for you to take a moment, record yourself. I don't care what you look like. I'm not watching the video, right? Not yet anyway, right? So just record yourself doing the mock signing by yourself. Who cares if you mess up? Who cares if you don't know exactly what to say? If you have the documents in front of you, you also have my cheat sheet, and you can use that cheat sheet and read it verbatim, but practice, because practice makes perfect. And I'm telling you, it will help. There's other mentees of mine that have done it and have told me how much it has really helped them along their journey. And so I am hoping that you do the same. All right, so let me just tell you how it's going to go down today. I'm going to do the mock signing. You are going to be John Doe and Jane Doe today. Whichever one you want to be, I'm going to talk to you, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. You ready? All right, let's do it. All right, so I am ringing the doorbell. Ding, ding, ding. Hey, Mrs. Doe. I'm Michelle, the notary. How are you? Great. Well, thanks for having me in your home. And it's such a beautiful home. Oh, and thank you. Great. Thank you for having me. All right, so before you get comfortable, if you can, get me your ID. Oh, perfect. It's already on the table. Awesome. I really appreciate you having that ready for me. All right, so I'm going to take your ID. And while I am just verifying your ID, I just want to go over something with you really quick, because you'll need to fill out my notary journal, okay? All right, so Mr. and Mrs. Doe, in these documents are some affidavits. And in these affidavits, you are going to be asked to swear or affirm upon penalties of perjury that you are completing these documents at your own free will, to the best of your knowledge that the information contained within the documents are true, and that you will abide by the terms of the agreement. Do you swear or affirm? Great. All right. Thank you so much for doing that. Now, when you're filling out my notary journal, what I want you to do is you guys just fill out this bottom part, okay? Make sure I just need, since you live together, I just need one address, a phone number, email address, your signature. And since you will be under oath today, you will need to put your initials in this particular box here, okay? So make sure you initial there. And then while you're doing that, I will go ahead and complete the information off of your ID. And on that, I will be completing a Patriot Act form. If you see this tab, I tab this because this is the very first document that I go to. And I don't pull it to the front of the pack or anything like that. I just, wherever it is in the stack of documents, right, I just go straight to it. So see, and then I put it back in order, okay? All right. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Doe, thank you so much for filling out my notary journal. I really appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and, are those pens black? All right, well, we'll need blue pens today. So I'm going to go ahead and, if it's okay with you, if you can use my pens, great. All right. Well, before we get started, I'd like to go over the money just to make sure we're all on the same page. So I'll be starting with the settlement statement as well as the closing disclosure, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get these pulled out here. All right. All right, so the settlement statement here, Mr. Doe, it shows that your loan amount is for $614,000. These are all your costs that you incurred to get the loan. And at the bottom here, it shows you that you are getting back $1,371.51. Does that sound about right? Great, awesome. All right, so here's the signature page. Mr. Doe, I do ask that you sign your name with your middle initial. Mrs. Doe, if you can just sign your name as you see it listed below. Thank you. All right, so the next document is your closing disclosure. Again, it's saying that you are refinancing $614,000 at your 3.25% interest rate. With your taxes and insurance, which is your escrow, your payment is $3,274.34. And again, at the bottom, it's showing that you're getting $1,371.51 back, okay? And does that sound about right again? All right, great. All right, so what I will ask for you, Mr. and Mrs. Doe, is that you go ahead and sign your name as listed below, and then but the date, I need you to go ahead and put the 4-digit year. So it's 2/26/2022. Okay, make sure you put that 4-digit year. All right, awesome. Well, I'm going to stick these back. Thank you for signing that. I'm going to stick these back in order here, and I'm just going to start over from the beginning. And just want to let you know also, again, I have a disclaimer. I am the notary. I am here to witness you sign the document. So at any time during the signing, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and then we can contact your loan officer, because I can answer the what's because I can point to it. I just can't answer your whys, okay? All right, great. All right, so we are going to get started with the rest of the documents. And this should not take me long at all, guys. All right. So then the next document that you're going to sign is your the borrower's contractor affidavit. And what this document wants to know is, do you have any liens on the home? Owe anybody any money that could put a lien on the home? Like, do you have any recent construction going on? No? All right, great. If you can check this box that says no recent construction, and within the 120-day period. All right, and then if I could have you sign the affidavit right here where it says by, you're going to go ahead and put your signature, and right next to your name below, if you can just go ahead and write your title, which is married, because you guys are married. And Mrs. Doe, I will also have you sign below. This is a document that needs to be notarized, so I am going to fill out my portion, and I'm going to notarize the document, okay? Thank you. The next document, Mr. Doe, Mr. and Mrs. Doe, is the appraisal acknowledgement. You should have received your appraisal 3 days prior to me showing up, if an appraisal was done. Did you have an appraisal? Oh, you did get it. Great. Thank you. All right. If you can sign your name as listed below and date it for me. Please don't forget to put the 4-digit year, okay? The next document is instructions to escrow, title, and closing. This document is not for the signing agent. You would just skip this document. The next document behind that, also, you will skip that document as well, as it is the document for the loan disbursement instructions. So you do not have to do anything with that document. The next document is the owner's affidavit. Do you guys... Again, you don't have any disputes on the property, no lawsuits currently, no liens on the home. You are the only ones that are entitled to your property. Is that correct? All right, great. If you can sign here, please do not date this document. It is an affidavit, which means that we will need to notarize this document, okay? All right, Mr. Doe, the next one is the application. It's all the information that you provided to your loan officer to get you qualified for the loan, okay? I'm showing that you are doing individual credit, which means that you're on the note, and both you and Mrs. Doe are on the actual deed to the property. Is that correct? All right, great. All right, if you can go ahead and sign and date the application for me. Great. Thank you very much. The next document is just the credit score disclosure. There's nothing for you to sign on here. It's just showing what your credit score was. And this is your TransUnion score. So this is the one that they use to process your loan, okay? The next document is your affidavit of occupancy. This document just says that you are, the home is your primary residence. You'll be in the home within 60 days of closing today, and you'll be in the property for at least 1 year or 12 months, and that you're only refinancing this property. This is a document that needs to be notarized, so you will need to notarize this or stamp this document, okay? The next document is the borrower certification and authorization. This just says that you certify that all the information you provided on your application is true and that you did authorize them to check your credit, your taxes, and everything to get you qualified for the loan. The next one is a compliance agreement. The compliance agreement just says that if there's any typographical errors or anything like that, that you'll comply in a timely fashion to help get these corrections made. Mrs. Doe, you will need to sign this today as your name is on the deed, and this will allow for any necessary corrections, okay? If you guys can make sure that you date it, put effective this 26th day of February 2022, sign, and then also date again for me, please. And then it is compliance agreement, which means that I will have to notarize this document. Next document is the Equal Credit Opportunity Act notice, which prohibits lenders from discriminating based on your race, creed, color, etc. Sign that one for me and date as well. Now, the next one is the note. The note is just your promise to pay back your loan amount of the $614,000 at your 3.25 interest rate, and your payment is going to be due on May 1st, okay? All right. The next one is your planned unit development rider. It just says that you guys live in the Davis Estate subdivision, and of course, you know you have to abide by the rules of your homeowners association, okay? All right, if you guys can both sign and date for me, that would be great. And remember to date using that 4-digit year. All right. Can you double check and make sure this next document is your deed? And I just want to make sure that your names are spelled properly. If you can just double check and make sure that your names are spelled correct. All right, awesome. All right, well, this is the signature page for your deed. And of course, you know, the deed is like the title to your car. It's the title to your home. If you can go ahead and sign and date for me. I am in Tennessee, so witnesses are not required to sign the deed in Tennessee. If you are in Florida, one of those other states that require, please make sure you get your witnesses. All right. And then I am going to sign and notarize this document. It is a deed. You cannot have any errors on a note or a deed. So if you have to make a correction to a date or a name, you will need to use a clean copy from the borrower set. So it's always good to make 2 copies. All right. Now the next one is a quick claim deed. I see that they have in here. It looks so as Mrs. Doe that okay, so when you guys initially purchased the home, you were Mrs. Smith. So you guys were not married at that time. So they are changing your name from Jane Smith to Jane Doe. Is that correct? All right, great. I just wanted to make sure. All right, so then you will sign this quick claim deed so that way your name can be changed on the deed from Mrs. Smith to, from Miss Smith to Mrs. Doe. All right, so if you don't mind, I'll need you to go ahead and sign this document. So sign this 26th day of February, 2022. Now, when you sign your name, you will need to sign Jane Smith and also put AKA and then sign Jane Doe, okay? And then John Doe, you will need to sign at the bottom as well. And then I will notarize this document. It is a quick claim deed. It needs to be notarized. The next document is the oath of consideration. So for this deed of trust, for this quick claim deed, there is a $10 charge for this. And this just says that you swear or affirm that the consideration for this transfer is $10. So you're agreeing to the $10 charge. All right, which is probably already in your packet, right? So, but you don't have to tell them that. But anyway, so you're gonna have, and on the oath of consideration, only one person needs to sign it. I would have Jane sign it because she's the one that's having the name change done. Okay, so I would have Jane Doe Jane. I would have Jane Doe print her name there. Go ahead and put today's date, and then her signature would go there. And then I will do my notarial work on this. And actually, for the oath of consideration, I would attach a jurat to this because there's no there's no venue on here. There's no state of, county of on here. So I would attach a jurat to this, okay? As I always state, it's always great to have the jurats in your notary folder in case you are at a signing and something like this comes up. So you will need to attach a jurat to this document, okay? The next document is the first payment letter, Mr. Doe. I'm showing your first payment is due May 1st. It shows the breakdown of your payment and $3,274.34, okay? Now, in the event that you don't have your online access set up prior to your first payment in May, then you can use this payment coupon to actually make your first payment, because it has the address where you'll need to send your payment here. And then also your new loan number is going to be up here in this corner. Remember, if you already have online access set up, then you want to go ahead and, after your loan is funded, go ahead and set up the new mortgage number, okay? And I'm going to leave this with you, okay? All right, great. The next one is the flood hazard determination. So this document just says that you are not in a flood zone. However, if you're ever deemed to be in a flood zone, you will be required to get flood insurance. So if you can just sign and date for me. The next document just says that you are required to have homeowners insurance at all times, and it actually lists the requirements, the minimum requirements that you'll need for your homeowners insurance. If you can sign and date that, Mr. Doe, that would be great. The next document is a hazard insurance endorsement letter. It is not for the signing agent. You do not have to discuss that. The next document is the escrow disclosure. This document just shows out of all the payments that you make every month towards your escrow, when it's time to pay your taxes and insurance, it's going to be paid out of this escrow account. If you can go ahead and sign and date. Thank you. The next document is your amortization schedule. Yeah, it's your favorite piece of paper. 7 pieces of paper in here. But this just shows all the payments that you're going to make over the life of the loan. I am showing that it is a 30-year mortgage, so you'll have 360 payments. If you can go ahead and sign and date here, as your name is listed below. Please note, if you are looking at your documents, note that John Doe's middle initial is not on this document, okay? Make sure that you look at this, and we'll discuss this in the session. But John Doe, it says John Doe here, but at the top of this document, it says John A. Doe. This will happen frequently. And so when he signs his name, you want to have him sign his name as it is listed below. Okay? The next document is notice of furnishing negative information. And this just says that the lender has a right to report your late payments or delinquent payments to the credit bureau, which could again negatively affect your credit. The next document is the W-9. Mr. Doe, can you confirm that this is your Social Security number listed in these boxes here? And if so, go ahead and sign and date for me in this box. All right, guys. Now, if you decide to cancel within the next 3 business days, what I want you to do on your copy that I'm going to leave you today, you would, in this box that says I wish to cancel, you're going to sign, you're going to date it, you're going to send it back to this particular address before this before midnight on this particular date right here, okay? All right, so go ahead and sign at the very bottom. You are signing at the bottom to acknowledge that you received your copy. If you can, there's two copies. I'm gonna have you sign both. I will leave one with you and I will take one back with me, okay? So go ahead and sign both of those at the very, very bottom. The next document is a signature name affidavit. It is just showing the names that are found on your credit report. Now, if you get to looking at this and you see a name that is not yours, please let me know and I'll tell you what we'll need to do. Okay, so on the signature name affidavit for John A. Doe, we noticed that there is a Joe Doe on here. He is not known by Joe Doe. So what we would do is we would do a thin line through this, have him put a thin line through this, initial it right here and write never known, you know, do a line or something and write never known as, okay? Never known as. He's never been known as Joe Doe. He's John Doe. He's never been known as Joe Doe. And we will go over that in this session as well. All right. Jane Doe's is fine because she's been known as Jane Smith as well as Jane Doe. All right, so these are affidavits. Remember that you're going to need to notarize the affidavits, okay? Anytime you see the notarial wording, when you talk about notarial wording, it's all of this down here. This is notarial wording. State of, county of is your venue, and all of this makes up notarial wording. Anytime you see that, you are required to notarize. The next one is the tax record information sheet. It is not required for you to go over this information with the signer. Let's go to the next document. E-consent and communication preference. This document here, the title company wants to know if they're able to communicate with you via email. Mr. Doe, you do not have to, I mean, if you like to receive correspondence via email, you can complete this third page here with your phone, your email, your signature and date. If you do not want to provide your email address, if you can just sign and date that for me. And then Mrs. Doe, you can go ahead and sign. And if you don't want to provide your email address, you can just leave it blank. But please go ahead and sign and date that document for me. All right, so the next one is the Patriot Act form. We've already done that. The 4506C, this is a request for your tax return transcript, Mr. Doe. If you can, please make sure that you check the this little, see that? Make sure you X that box there. And if you can sign and date for me. Because John Doe is the only one that's on the loan, his information for this particular title company is the only one that is requested. Even if they filed joint taxes, the title company did not request her information. So he would sign both of the 4506Cs that are in this packet. All right, so Mr. Doe, if you can sign and date this for me. And again, we have a duplicate, so if you can go ahead and X the box there and then sign and date for me. The next document is the consent to use the tax return information, okay? If you can both sign and date for me. The next one is the COVID-19 attestation. With everything that's going on now, they just put this in here. And this just says that your income has not been affected since you have applied for the loan and that you're not aware of any future changes in your employment. Is that correct? All right, great. The next document is a consent to disperse prior to recording of the note deed, the note or the deed. So with this document, how I like to explain is that with COVID, everything's been recorded a little bit slow. The title company, they're wanting to make sure that it's okay for them to go ahead and fund your loan before, you know, the document gets recorded. Is that okay with you? All right, great. Thank you so much. If you guys can just go ahead and only thing you'll need to do on this form here is just sign your name. You don't have to worry about filling out the lender's information. They will take care of that for you. The next one is the affidavit and indemnity agreement. Again, this document here just saying that, let's see here. This one here is that there's, again, they're asking, do you have any liens on your home, any current construction, any pending actions like lawsuits or bankruptcies or anything like that? None? All right, great. All right. So if you can, go ahead and print your names up in this first line for me. If you can print your name there, that would be great. And then on the second page, if you can just go ahead and sign your name. No date on that one, okay? All right. And it is an affidavit, which means that I will need to notarize this document. The next one is the visitor health screening questionnaire. It is just saying, hey, this is just for me. So it's my COVID questions, Mr. Doe. It's asking if I returned from international travel. I have not. Anybody in my house has within the last 14 days have been near someone that's had COVID. And do I have any symptoms? And all of these are no, okay? The affiliate business arrangement disclosure just lets you know that YouSaySo title has affiliations with North American Title Insurance. And if title insurance or any of their services provided, it shows you what the ranges are. So it just says here that if the lender's title insurance or owner title insurance was provided, that it's 10 to 40% of the lender's costs, depending on the state. So it's just an estimate, okay? The YouSaySo title. Now the next document is the settle agreement and disclosure. And this just says that, hey, you have received your, we went over the settlement statement with you. You know, that there's a correction agreement. If there's any errors or anything like that, you'll comply to get any of these corrections made. So again, it's just different disclosures. You have all these documents in your paperwork if you want to actually go over and review them. On the second page, it is asking for your tenancy for the deed. So, because both of you are married, I mean, you just pick which ones work, which ones you are. Are you joint tenants, tenants in common, tenants by entirety, sole ownership, trust ownership? So whichever applies to you. Okay, so you're joint tenants. Okay, great. All right. Go ahead and date and sign below. The next one just says that a title search was done on your property to ensure that there were no liens on your property, okay? The next one is wire instructions, and this is only good. You guys are not getting, you don't have to pay any money at closing, so you will not need the wire instructions. I actually would not even have went over that document with the signer because it does not apply. All right, so the next document is the proceeds authorization. I actually saved this document for last because while I am double checking the documents, they can fill out this information. So I'm going to put this aside and I am going to make that last. Mr. Doe, the next one is just a privacy notice. It just tells you what YouSaySo title does with your information. So I will leave that for you to read as well. For your protection, you know, wire fraud is on high alert here. So if you decided to get your money wired today and then the title company received a request to change your wire information, you will need to do that in person. If not, they will mail you out a check, okay? All right, so the last but not least is your proceeds authorization. If you can go ahead and this is how you want to get your money back. So if you can go ahead and fill this out for me, that would be great. Now, because you're getting $1,300 back, usually that money is just actually sent to you in the form of a check, okay? So if you want it, actually, yeah, they will just send you a check. So you can just go ahead and put your address on here and go ahead and sign, and they will go ahead and get your check mailed to you, okay? All right. Now, in the event on this proceeds authorization, guys, that was the last document. Is this? I wanted to reiterate this. If they were receiving, I mean, if they were getting, say, $5,000 back, and they had to have the money wired, please note, it is imperative that you ask them, is your routing number and the wire transfer number for your bank the same? 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you, I don't know. Great. Well, this is the opportunity to give them to go into their mobile app to see if it's there. I'm with, I have Bank of America. If I log into my app, my wire transfer number is listed under the accounts, right? Some banks don't have that. So you can have them Google it, make sure they're on their bank's website, or to be 100% sure, have them call the branch in which they do business with and ask if the wire and routing number are the same. A lot of times they are not the same, but most times they are. In this case here, regardless to if it is or not, even if they're writing the doing a voided check, I would still make sure you have them call and make sure about that wire transfer number, because if you don't get the accurate number, what happens is that you're going to delay them getting their money back. A lot of people refinance their home to pull money, out of their home so that they can finish projects around their home, take a vacation, make a purchase, and they're waiting on those funds. And a lot of times through this process, the closing has gotten delayed. So, they may need their money sooner than later. So we don't want to hold it up by not getting the accurate information on this proceeds authorization. Make sure they check a box that they need and make sure they sign. Again, on this one here, actually, on this particular document, because their check is less than $2,000, they just really need to sign the bottom. Putting in the address is just for really an alternative address. So if they have multiple homes and say they're at their summer home and then they want that money to come to their summer home, then they can put that particular address. But in the event that it is just going to their property address, just have them sign the bottom if it's under $2,000, okay? Very important. When I return this form, it is always on top of, I always put it on top of my stack when I return it back. So it's the first thing that they see. I want them to know how they want their money back. All right. All right. So when I finish my signing, this is how I end it. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Doe, that is it. That wasn't bad, was it? No. Told you it wasn't going to take me long. All right, but give me just another minute or two. I just want to go back through the documents and just double check, make sure that I didn't miss anything, because you guys are really great, but I don't want to have to come back if I don't want, if I don't have to. So I'm just going to go ahead and double check these documents for you, and then I'll be out of your way. All right, and then I'll go ahead and actually before I check the documents, I'm going to go ahead and get a copy of your driver's license that was required, so that I can go ahead and send that back with your documents. Okay. All right, great. So then I take my picture, I give them their, if I didn't take it in the beginning, and then I hand them their ID back, right? Double check my documents, right? So I go back through them, make sure I put my stamp, make sure I signed everywhere, make sure I put the correct commission expiration date for me, making sure I'm looking for little initial lines at the bottom of these documents to make sure that I just did not miss anything. So this is the refinance packet that you received in your email. Again, if you are watching this video and you do not have the documents that coincide with the video, reach out to me via my email or call me, and I'll make arrangements to get this information to you. There may be a link on my website where you can actually purchase these documents as well. So until next time, this is it for my refinance documents, mock signing. And again, I really appreciate you guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you really do go ahead and record yourself doing a mock signing, because I want to hear about it. All right. I look forward to talking to you. And thanks again. And what God has for you is for you.